Hey, have you ever heard the protocol MQTT, Message Queuing Telemetry Transport? If you haven't heard, I'll explain what it is. It's an IoT messaging protocol. Yes, it's being used by the Internet of Things devices. You must be familiar with the Internet of Things devices, the smart home appliances that we are able to control through the network. And this MQTT protocol is used as a messaging protocol, which means it is used to interchange the messages between the IoT device and the controller device like mobile phones, laptops that humans are using to control the IoT devices. And well, the MQTT protocol actually not itself the vulnerable, but the broker, the MQTT broker that we are deploying in between the IoT and the human being might be vulnerable, and it could be exploited. And that's what I'm going to show with the help of a recent TryHackMe room. And in that room they gave a machine, and we are going to find what sort of services are open on that machine, and we are going to show how it can be leveraged, how it can be exploited. And before that, you have to understand what is MQTT and its architecture. As you know, protocol is a language. It's a language of love, language used to communicate between two entities. And for example, if it is a web traffic, then obviously we are using protocols like HTTP. And the HTTP protocol is having the messages like request and response. It gives the request to the web server, and the web server responds back to the client with its response. And actually its methodology is like a request response. But this MQTT, actually it is little bit different. It is using another methodology, and I'll explain what it is. Let's begin. Bugged, and that's what the name of the machine. John likes to live in a very internet connected world, maybe too connected. Well, let's look at this explanation, analyze the network. And we have started the machine. It also got the IP, and I have connected to TryHackMe's network, and those are the prerequisites to take this. Well, let me expand this. John was working on his smart home appliances when he noticed weird traffic ongoing across the network. Can you help him figure out what these weird network communications are? The machine may take, okay, just the thing, and we need to find the flag alone, and it's a capture the flag exercise. Well, we got the IP address. The first thing we need to do, the simple network scan, and you can use any device you want, but I'm using Nmap, the typical one, and I'm creating a directory for this. Let me make another directory for Nmap. All right, now I'm using Nmap -sc -sv -on to store these outcomes in the Nmap format. And bugged, I'm giving the machine's name, and here is the verbosity, IP address and verbosity. I think that is the IP 10.10.145.6. all right, now let me authorize this. Now it started scanning, but look at this one, we haven't received anything. It scanned all typical 1000 ports, all general ports, but eventually it actually didn't find any ports open out of these 1000 ports. It could be some other port other than this 1000. Well, I have already done this, so let me admit that. I'll tell you what port is open. So let me mention that one. I knew that port is open, so that's why I'm mentioning it, 1883, and it's a non-standard port. So let me mention that. The remaining things are same, and now it will be giving us the desired results, and you can see it discovered the open port 1883 TCP. Well, look at this one. It got the service that is running on this protocol 1883, and the service is MQTT. Well, I told in the video introduction, MQTT is nothing but message queuing telemetry transport, but let's learn more about this protocol. There are multiple blogs explain this amazing protocol, but I found a specific blog was very informative. So let me explain that one. Let me open that specific blog, securitycafe.ro, IoT pen testing 101. So that's the blog. Yeah, this one. And look at this one. they gave, as almost every industry uses at least one of those tiny embedded devices called smart things. I think that it might be the right time to start series of just an intro. As every IoT device has to be connected to internet, I want to briefly introduce you to the MQTT protocol, the standard for IoT messaging. Well, let's see the function of this MQTT protocol and look at this image. This image explains the architecture of the MQTT protocol. If you want to implement the IoT messages, the messaging facility for your IoT devices, then you have to deploy an intermediate server called MQTT broker, and that's what shown here. And the remaining devices are the control devices and the IoT devices. Well, IoT device could be anything. As I said, it could be a sensor, it could be any home appliances that is capable of controlling over the network, CCTV, whatever. So this is the IoT device, and the MQTT broker is still located in between the client, the user, and the IoT device. Well, look at this one, the message exchange. I gave an example with HTTP. HTTP typically uses request and response methodology, but this one is using a different one, and that's nothing but publish, subscribe. It's like a YouTube. Yeah, YouTube content creator publishing a video and the subscribers subscribing it and watching the video. And it's a similar thing. The IoT device, it typically publishes the data. For example, if it is a sensor, it publishes the recorded telemetry. It publishes to the MQTT broker, and the MQTT broker got those data, and it actually publishes the data to whom subscribes for that specific data. So that is the communication. So it publishes to who subscribes for that data, and as simple as that. And that's the architecture of this MQTT protocol. And look at this one. As I said, it's a lightweight protocol, machine to machine protocol. And in MQTT, a publisher publishes message on a topic, and subscriber must subscribe to the topic to view that message, and it's a mandatory thing. It is actually not like YouTube, where you can watch videos without subscribing the channel, but here you must subscribe to get certain content, and that's the difference. And messages are published to a broker on a topic. Well, look at this one. Here this sensor is publishing to the topic temperature. The temperature data is 24 degrees Celsius. So it publishes a temperature data. So when this client wants to collect the IoT data, it has to send the subscribe request to the specific topic temperature. Then it will be able to obtain this exact data that is given under this temperature topic for this instance. Well, that is how this protocol functions. Well, we have seen the specific machine is serving on this MQTT port 1883, and that's the typical port for MQTT. So let me check the MQTT ports, and here you may see MQTT 1883 or 80. 80, it's an optional one. It's a non-secure communication. If you want to establish a secure communication between your IoT device and yourself, then you can use the port 8883. But here we witnessed the port 1883 is open, which means the connection is non-secure. It could be intercepted, and the details could be seen. Well, that's the thing. We are going to find a way to intercept the traffic. Well, let's do that. There is a utility, and before that, let me go through this block completely, what they really try to explain this here. So here they are going to create a test environment for the real IoT environment, and look at this one. Here is the GitHub repository, and it's a GitHub project. Actually, it is used to create that IoT test environment, and these are the commands used to configure the MQTT broker itself. And once this MQTT broker is configured, then it has to be tested, right? And for that, they are using a utility called Mosquito sub, Mosquito pub. Actually, it's a tool set. These pub and sub, the tool ends with, are the parts of the tool set. And you can see the command exactly. It might not be clear at the moment, but I'll explain what this command does. But before that, understand this is the utility used to interact with this MQTT broker as a user. Well, I'm scrolling down. Look at this. There is a screenshot evidence, and when I scroll down further, you can see they are doing something. They are actually calling this binary and mentioning -t and doing something. Looks like they are updating something to that MQTT broker. Well, they are automating it with the bash script. The same thing. Look at this one. This nmap scan. It actually found the 1883, the MQTT protocol. Well, if I scroll down, what happens? So let's see that. Modifying the environment, some base 64 stuff, and look at this one, dictionary attack using Metasploit. Well, the MQTT protocol can be secured with proper authentication. In our case, it is not authenticated. There is no credentials, but typically for the security best practice, it could be secured with the authentication. Well, if it is authentication, if it has authentication, then it can be broken by using the dictionary attacks. Well, if you have the valid word list, if the password is weak, it is possible, and that's what they gave. They used the Metasploit module to achieve that. There is a module called MQTT Connect. They have used it to brute force the MQTT broker. Well, that's what they have done, and they have obtained the passwords too. So look at this. The password is very poor, very weak, and yeah, they have also gave some scenarios to conduct the denial of service attack by exploiting the known CVE, known vulnerability. And look at this one. This looks like the vulnerable mosquito tool version that is susceptible to denial of service attacks. Well, that's what they are explaining. Okay, now it is clear. We got to know the tool that we need to use to interact with this MQTT broker. This could be the MQTT broker that we need to interact. Well, let's try that. I have already installed that MQTT broker. If you don't have the tool, you can obtain the tool with your apt package manager itself. And let me search for the tool mosquito. So it will be giving us the, look at this one, compatible message broker, and look at the tools, all the other tools present here. Mosquito clients. I think the mosquito clients is the tool set that we need to install for this specific purpose. Mosquito is the utility to set up the mosquito broker, and the mosquito client, as I said, this specific package contains, the tool set contains both pub and sub package, the tool. So let me show that. I have already installed it, and look at this: mosquito, mosquito control, mosquito password, mosquito pub, and mosquito sub. So we are going to use these two pub and sub utility. Pub denotes publish, sub denotes subscribe, and we are going to use these two utilities in this exercise. So let's do that. First of all, we got to know there is a message broker. So let's try to subscribe that. We don't know the topic yet, but let's try to mention the host alone and try to subscribe to that specific message. Or we don't know the specific message. Let's try to subscribe with a blank topic maybe. So let's try that. Mosquito sub and -help. I'm getting the help from the help menu, and look at this one. You can mention the host with the -h and typical one, the port with the -p. It is actually running on default 1883, so we need not to mention this one. Username, password, I think it is not required because it is not secured with the password, username, password. Well, topic, we don't know. Well, look at this one, the port, the topic. These two seems to be, the host and topic. These two parameters seems to be the mandatory one. So let's try with that. Mosquito sub -host. I'm getting the IP address of that MQTT broker, and I am mentioning the -t. I don't know what it is, but before that, let me give this command alone. It is actually giving the error. You must specify a topic to subscribe to. Well, I'll let you know what is that the topic if you don't know what to mention. Well, I'm scrolling up, and here I think, look at this one. Here they have subscribing every topic with the hash character, and they gave it is actually subscribes to every topic, like asterisk. It takes every topic out. So that's what we are going to do, -t, and with hash character I'm going to subscribe every topic. Well, -v, is it valid at least? Now look at this one. I gave -v, it shows the device and its data, that the telemetry data that it fetched from this device. Storage thermostat, kitchen toaster, living room speaker, patio lights, again thermostat, speaker, toaster, lights, front deck camera, living room speaker. So it is giving the status, the data from these IoT devices, and this IoT broker is having all those data. By using this mosquito sub command, we are subscribing to every data that it contains with this hash symbol. Well, now look at this one. Can you observe any weird thing here? Look at this one. Here is a weird blob. We got this weird blob from this message. So let's try to uncover this. Look at this padding, double equal sign. Looks like a base 64 encoding. So let me try to uncover this one. It is already in my clipboard, I suppose. So let me go to CyberChef to decode that. Yeah, it is in my clipboard from base 64. What? It is giving some nonsense. I think this one. Let me remove this one. Yeah, look at this. It is actually giving some valid outcome. Let me put it in a notepad and see what it contains. It is actually in the JSON format. So I'm simply aligning it. And look at this one. It has one ID. And here is the sensitive stuff. It has the registered commands help, cmd, and sys. And this immediately, this cmd command seeks my attention. Cmd command in MQTT broker. MQTT broker. I think, will it give any promising outcome? Hacking. Okay. Look at this one. MQTT CMD. Okay. Now I'll explain what it is actually. I'm not getting that blog, but the MQTT CMD command, which means if this command is allowed, if this command is, it is in that registered command list, right? So which means this command execution is allowed in this MQTT broker. So it will allow us to execute the system commands. That's what it means. And we have also got the publish topic and also the subscribe topic. And we are going to use these topics in a while, and also this ID in a while. And before that, the CMD, sys, and help, it was very useful, especially the CMD. It is going to help us to execute the commands on that MQTT broker. I'll show how it can be done. Let me get into this. Here is the, okay, I missed this one. All right, now, okay, mosquito sub. Okay, now I'll explain what you need to do. As I said, this architecture, it contains the MQTT broker in between, and it has the IoT device and also this one. Now we are going to execute commands on this MQTT broker only. We are not going to do anything on this IoT device, because IoT device, the misconfiguration lies in this MQTT broker only. So from this device, we are going to exploit this only. So what we are going to do, we are going to publish something from this client device to the MQTT broker, and also we are going to subscribe the same data from this MQTT broker to our device. So it's like the communication from this client to MQTT and MQTT to the client back. So client is our machine, my machine, and the MQTT broker is the TryHackMe system given here. Well, this is my machine, this is TryHackMe's machine. Just assume like that. So we are going to publish something and subscribe something. So let's do that. We are going to use this pub topic and subtopic here. So let me explain how it can be achieved. First of all, we need to subscribe for something, right? We need to subscribe something first of all. Let's do that. Mosquito sub. and hyphen host, that's a common one. So let me get this IP address, I keep forgetting it. Here is the IP. All right, now the topic hyphen T, I am mentioning this specific pub topic. I'm actually subscribing here, but I'm mentioning the pub topic here. So whatever published under this topic, it will be received over this. It will be received here by using this Mosquito subscribe utility. Now this is the thing. I simply clicked, nothing happens. Look at this one. The cursor is blinking, which means it is listening for the published details. Anything published for this, then it will be retrieved here. Well, I got this. Now let me publish something. I'm actually trying to publish some random command here. So mosquito pub. So this is the utility to publish something, and hyphen h the host, and hyphen t here, and here I need to mention that subscribe topic. So hope you understand this. So anything published to this subscribe topic, that is retrieved here. Yeah, and that's what. So let me give this one. It is actually not allowing me to run the command. I miss something, some parameter I'm missing. Both topic and message must be supplied. So it is asking us to supply the topic and message. We have already supplied the topic, but the message is missing. How the message can be supplied? So let's find that. To supply the message, you have to use small m. So let's see that. Look at this one. Hyphen m can be used to supply the message. Well, let's do that. I'm supplying a message. The message is please subscribe. Well, it looks fine now. Let me give enter, and look at this one. We have got some base64 blob. So when we published something through this to this subtopic, this subscribe topic, and it is actually receiving here because it is actually listening on that publisher's topic. Well, let me catch this one and decode this in base6. In CyberChef, and look at this one. Here is the decoder format. Invalid message format, and here is the valid format. Now hope you have observed one thing here. So when that IoT device responded back, we got a base64 blob. It was supplying a base64 blob. Let me show here. Mosquito sub hyphen h 1010 145 6 1010 145 6, and here I am actually giving the topic to anything, and also hyphen v for the verbosity. Looks fine. Let me give enter. Now look at this one. It is giving the usual characters, the human readable characters. Not human readable, it is actually giving the actual status of the IoT devices, but this one, it is actually giving the base64 blob. So what makes it to publish this base64 blob? Actually, this base64 function that actually makes it to publish the base64 encoded string. And look at this one. It is actually a base64 function. This content is enclosed within this function. Well, that content only I'm going to retrieve here. So this is the content. So it is asking for the backdoor ID and also the command that we need to supply and also the argument. And we got the backdoor ID here. So this is the ID. So let me mention it here. And the command, any one of this. Let me mention help first instead of other system commands. And the argument, I'm just leaving empty for now. Now here is the content. I'm going to encode this, base64 encode this. So let me do that. I'm actually converting it to base64, and here is the base64 blob. Now this is the base64 message that we need to pass this time. And look at this one. I need to stop this. All right. Now it is still listening for the next message. Now we are going to change that message alone. We have already got that message. We crafted this one. We are going to query for the help command, and also we have encoded this entire message format by using the cyberchef. And let me give this, let me enter. Now it gave a lengthy blob, lengthy base64 string. So let me uncover this string now. I'm going to convert it from, convert from base64. Now it gave certain details. So let me see what we have got. I'm going to read this and look at this one. Help, it displays the help message. CMD, run a shell command. As I said before, they allowed us to run the CMD by mistake. This is the misconfiguration. So this allows us to run the commands on the system, and we are going to use this specific thing to get the flag out of the system. But before that, I wanted to show this help menu. So this is the help menu, and sys returns the system information. Well, let me change this one. Instead of help, I'm mentioning sys alone, and I'm converting it to base64. This time converting to base64, and we have got this. Let me go to this publish command line, and here I'm mentioning the encoded thing, and we got the next blob. Look at this one. So let me uncover this. Same cyberchef, and here is the response. The response gives the operating system. It's a Linux machine. So this is what we are going to do. And the CMD. Now this time we are going to execute some command, and we gave CMD, but the argument, what exact command we need to execute, that we can give in this arg parameter. And the simple one, who am I, the typical one. So let me give this. I'm giving this and converting it to base64. Got this. Going to the command line, changing that message, and we got an outcome here. Let me check what it is. Oh, it gives nothing. It's meaningless. Now let me give it again. Yeah, here is the valid response, and the user ID is challenge. So this is the user ID. Now let me execute some other commands like ls-la to see in which directory currently we are in. What are all the files present in that directory. So let me give this, converting to base64, grabbing this, putting it in the publish command line. Yeah, it gave the message. Now let me convert this, let me decode this to from base64, and look at this one. It gave the entire directory content. If I beautify this, I'll be getting the valid stuff. And look at this one. It is actually containing the bash history, bash logout, bash rc profile, and here is the flag file. Now in the next step, we can simply grab the flag, cat flag.txt. So this command will eventually get the flag that we need. Okay, now let me start this in a fresh terminal, and this too, I'm replacing the message, and look at this one. We got the base64 encoder stuff. So let's decode that. It will eventually give the flag that we need. And look at this one. It contains the flag. And here is the response, the flag we need. So you take this flag and slap it here. With this, we have accomplished it. And yes, this is what I exactly wanted to showcase. And in the exercise, we have seen the machine we connected. We found that MQTT broker was misconfigured. It was allowing us to run the system commands, and by exploiting that, we were able to gain the flag from that machine. But assume a real-time scenario. If that command is allowed, then by exploiting that, we might be able to cause any sort of adverse damage to our target. And that is what we need to learn from this kind of capture the flag exercise. While configuring this kind of MQTT brokers, we should be aware of the security best practices. Well, that's what I wanted to explain. Hope you have learned something new from this. If you really did, consider doing all those YouTube algorithms, like, comment, subscribe, everything. I'll catch you next time with another exciting one. Until then, I'm signing off. Cheers, and I love you all. Thank you so much.